When talking about punk rock, be it important albums or important years, we often hear about the Clash, the Sex Pistols, 1977, 1982, the Oi movement, UK 82 stuff with Coxbar and bands like that. We hear 1994 with Green Day, Rancid, The Offspring. But if you're my age and you were born in the early 80s up through like maybe, I don't know, anytime in the 80s, I guess, and you got into punk rock, there was another year and another album that was really important. So in 1998, on Hellcat Records, produced by Lars Fredriksson of Rancid, we had the Dropkick Murphys emerge with their debut LP, Do or Die. Now, the reason that that's important right now is because it's twofold. One, I was getting ready to work on a video talking about modern Oi and how it's come back into the fold, and it's there's a major like wave of traditional Oi music. There's also the French Oi, cold Oi stuff going on, but like street punk and Oi music is back, and it's fully back. There's spiky haired leather jacket street punk. There's skinhead Oi street punk. There's cold Oi as like a emerging new subgenre, and I'm like, okay, so the people that are my age that are doing all this stuff, and even some younger ones, where did they get this stuff from? Like, where did it, if you were born in the 70s, you got the UK 82 stuff, that was your era. But if you're born way past that, like, how did you even get to learning about those bands? And I think Do or Die is an album that it could be credited with getting a lot of people interested in street punk, maybe even hardcore, and definitely Oi, right? And I know all those things kind of blend together. You can call them one or another. It's a very blurred line. Yes, I'm aware. I'm just using those, you know, names to segregate the different subgenres of the punk rock I'm talking about. So if I say street punk, I'm typically talking about mohawks, spike jackets, all that shit. Oi, obviously, right? And then cold Oi, hardcore, whatever. So it's really obvious to me. So if you weren't understanding what I was saying, my apologies. So I wanted to just spotlight that record for a minute, talk about it, appreciate it. Next weekend on December 14th, my friend Ryan, who sings for Liberty and Justice, is putting on a fest down here in Houston called the Winter Weekender 2024. Apparently, this is his ninth year doing it. I didn't know it had been going on that long. Back when he first started it, I was in the middle of having kids and trying to get my life together. So I was out of touch with things for a little while. So I'm really proud of him and appreciate what he's doing. And there will be a clip of him and I talking in a few minutes that you'll see. But I just wanted to shout out Do or Die. I think it needs more attention than it gets. I think that there's a certain amount of appreciation that this record deserves. Uh, like I said, it came out in 1998. Barroom Hero was the single on it. I heard Barroom Hero on a Give 'em the Boot comp, just like we'll talk about later with Ryan. That led me to buy Do or Die. I think I bought it in 99, actually. I don't think I bought it when it first came out. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Lars Fredriksson produced it. That might have been one of the reasons why I picked it up, actually, seeing as that Rancid has always been my favorite band. It was on Hellcat, which I knew of back then, that it was, Tim Armstrong's imprint on Epitaph. Uh, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So whenever, oh, dude, something that's here's a little unique tidbit of information. And I'm looking at Wikipedia. I'm not trying to act as if I'm not. Apparently, there's a Do or Die poster in John Connor's bedroom in the pilot episode of Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles. That's awesome. That is awesome. The song "Never Alone" was in the Dave Murrah Freestyle BMX, which is like the BMX version of Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Yeah, the fifth episode of The Sopranos had that song "Cadence to Arms" in it, and it was in one of those TV show episodes. So this album just had a very wide reach, and it brought Oi music, skinhead culture, you know, talk about unions, blue collar work. This is not just a, you know, drunk punks, you know, circle pit type of album. It talks about subjects that are a little different, right? I don't know. It's just an important record. I really love it. It's 16 songs. It's about 40 minutes in length. It's got Do or Die. Get Up is a good song. Never Alone. This it's got such ridiculous songs on this one. Memories Remain. Road of the Righteous. Fight Starter Karaoke. Barroom Hero, obviously. Tenant Enemy Number One, which is probably my favorite song on the album. We've got Finnegan's Wake, traditional Irish song that they covered and turned it into a punk song. Then you have Skinhead on the MBTA, great song. So the album's fantastic. I just wanted to shine a little light on it, appreciate it. I wanted to talk about the Winter Weekender with Ryan for a few minutes and appreciate all of his hard work. And I'm doing a deep dive. If you have some recommendations of modern traditional Oi bands, throw them to me in the comments. I'm doing some work on a video for that subgenre and that scene. I love this stuff. It's incredibly important, and I'm very excited for the Winter Weekender next weekend. So, if you get a chance and you want to come down to Houston, there's only a few tickets left. This is going to be an insane lineup of bands. Off the top of my head, I know it's Liberty and Justice, Sikkim out of Atlanta. I think Soft Kills from Chicago, I believe. Violent Ways playing it, and then Mike McColgan and the Bomb Squad, his new group of people, are going to play Do or Die in its entirety. So yeah, without further ado, this is me and Ryan talking about it. I just wanted to jump on for a minute and explain the importance of this record, give you guys a little intro, but check it out. Me and Ryan talked for like 20 minutes, and yeah, I hope you're enjoying the videos. I got some pretty big ones dropping very soon. I just wanted to kind of pause things and do this, talk with him about it, and shout out the fest and one of the more important records of my high school age life. Yeah. But we're here hanging out with Ryan, Liberty and Justice, East End Barber, dude. Like so many things that I could call back on throughout the years with you. But you do a festival every year called the Winter Weekender, and there's a big one this year. And I just wanted to talk to you for a few minutes about that, why you started doing it, what it's all about, and then we got to talk this year's main attraction, which would be Mike McColgan and the Bomb Squad. And if you're not familiar with Mike McColgan, that is the original singer of the Dropkick Murphys, and then he went on to do, I don't know, 6 or 7 albums, maybe 6 albums with the Street Dogs.
Yep.
So, yeah, dude, how's your day going, buddy?
Good, man. Just running around.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate everything you do with this channel, and with this show, and with the shop, man. It's
No
it's
problem,
dope.
man.
Yeah.
Dude, like total like derail the conversation real quick. Like right when the screen messed up and your computer died, I like looked down at my phone because it blipped and I was like, oh, an email. And I just kind of pulled my top screen down and it was like, your test press is shipped. And I was like, let's go. So
That's it.
that's my pretty psyched. That's my first solo vinyl release. So it's pretty exciting. So
Hell yeah. But no, we started doing this fest in 2015. It was me and Jared, another homie of ours that's done a lot of stuff around town, booked a lot of shows through Brickwall Productions and things like that. And so we did. We just wanted Houston to have, our own kind of like subculture fest. Like
right.
Willow and them were doing fallcore, and fallcore was dope, and did a lot for hardcore and punk rock. And we saw East Coast Oi Fest. We saw what Atlanta was doing with the Beer Olympics back in the day, and just kind of wanted something to shine some light on Houston. So we did that in 2015, and it was, man, it was I would say that was probably the second biggest one to the one that we have coming up. So
Oh wow.
that one had Slapshot, Stars and Stripes.
Holy crap.
Career Criminal did a reunion.
Yes, bro.
Yeah, man. Dog Company, tons of bands. It was rad. And after that year, I started teaming up with Deirdre and LaRonda from Two Birds Productions to kind of, put our heads together and bring some more cool bands to town. And this one in particular is like, first off, it's like a childhood dream come true.
Right.
Second off, it's just a lot of things coming together at the right time, right? So I work with Johnny Rio at the barbershop.
Yep.
And it was something as casual as, like, he asked me, he's like, hey, what do you think the draw would be in Houston for for Mike McColgan and some friends doing a do or die set.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
and that was I don't know. I think that was in like May or June, and I couldn't let it go. I was like, "Yo, man, tell me more. We got to make this happen. I would love to make sure that this happens and that it happens in Houston."
Right.
And and so we got talking more, and I reached out to Matt. He owns Equal Parts Brewery over here, and
Okay.
he's been a friend of ours for years. He actually used to play in a band with Caleb back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
Nice.
so he's been doing stuff at Brash Brewery, and he basically just said like, "Yo, y'all can use that brewery for the weekend uh, for the
Dude.
fest." And I was like, "This is great." Um, I I first heard Do or Die. That was kind of like my introduction into oi, skinhead subculture, street punk, stuff like that. I heard Barroom Hero on Give 'Em the Boot Volume 1.
Yep. Me too.
That whole comp like opened a lot of doors for me, right? After that, I of course immediately picked up Do or Die and fell in love with it. And I'm sure you remember at the time that explosion with Flogging Molly and all these other bands. Like everybody at school was like, "Oh, I'm 25% Irish. I'm whatever."
Bro, like, so my last name is Patty and my mom's maiden name is Flanagan. Like my whole family's Irish. And I remember having like a weird sense of pride when this music started popping off and being like, oh, this is for me.
Yeah, yeah.
All my friends were the same exactly what you just said. I had like Asian homies being like, "Hey, yo, just so you know, my great great granddad." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
that's like,
yeah. Dude, it was funny, but it was cool. Like to your
yeah,
point,
no,
like
it's awesome.
and
No gate keeping, dude. It was awesome.
yeah, for sure. And then for me after that, I picked up this like Punk U compilation, and I heard Cockney Rejects, and then it just kind of steamrolled from there. So to first number one, see them do this album in Houston
Cool.
is just a trip to be. Number two, to find out that this is going to be their first time ever playing Do or Die start to finish ever is just like to be able to witness this is so dope on so many different levels, man.
Well, like full disclosure here, like you when this first was like in its inception stages, like you like talked to me privately and you're like, you can't tell anybody about this because it's not 100% yet. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to do something cool and I think you'll appreciate it. And when you told me, I literally was like, what? Like I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. And I had, dude, keeping my mouth shut about that was tough, dude, because I was just one of it's just one of these things where, like you said, this is a very important record for not only for like punk rock, but like specifically down here where we had access to an Oi record like pretty easily as young men for the first time. Like it led me
Oh,
into listening
100%.
to bands like The Business, Cockspar. I would never have probably heard until 10 years later if it wasn't for
Yeah.
that record. So like all that music that I didn't even understand was different.
Yeah.
I was getting into because of this one record. And then Flug and Molly helped a lot with other things like the Pogues
Yeah.
and what's his name? The one Rancid always talks about. Oh my goodness, dude. Billy Bragg.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that led me down that. So like, yes, this era, this year, this stuff, Given the Boot, Do or Die, those two CDs, incredibly important for Oi subculture in general.
Big time, man. Especially like for our generation, and the Give them the boot comps. Those were like what, $5 in the mall?
Something like the 399, 499, something like that. The $5 bill is probably gonna get you one.
Yeah. So it's like it was easily accessible to us. Um, but so that kind of came together, and around the same time, the Prowlers from Canada had reached out about wanting to do something in Texas.
Awesome.
And then at the same time, Sikkim from Atlanta wanted to do something in Texas as well, right? So all this stuff is coming together, and I'm like, kind of flipping out about it. We had just got off a run with Softkill, and I was talking to Tobias from Softkill, and he was talking about like growing up in New Hampshire and how much he was into Do or Die and that era of Oi and street punk, and he asked if Softkill could play. I was like, dude, it would be like an honor to have you guys on it. So then that just kind of became icing on the cake. You
Well,
know,
the
then you
lineup is ridiculous.
got
Like,
Frezza
let's.
Bruta too.
I mean, Violent Way is the one that I'm like, I can't. As I've seen Soft Kill. Obviously, I've seen all the homies from Texas. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't think I've ever seen the Prowlers. They're not even from here at all. But
yeah, they're
like,
from Canada.
the Prowlers, Violent Way, and Mike McColgan, and then I get to also see Soft Kill. Like, my wife is excited for this show, and she's like, 1 foot in type of thing. She's
Yeah,
just his here because like that's what I'm into, and she likes it because she heard about it from me, but she doesn't pretend to be something she's not. So
yeah,
when she gets excited, that makes me stoked because she usually just like, nah, go do your thing, and then I'll see you when you get home. And
yeah.
she's like, hey, I want to go see that. Like, I'm like, hell yeah, that's gonna be awesome. So this is very far reaching. It's bigger than just you know 30 or 40 of us getting together and having some hang out and listen to some music. This is big, man.
For sure. And it's cool. Like you're going to be out there filming stuff, and you're going to
Yep.
have your table set up. Um, we got actually the homies from Fusca, Andy. They're going to be out there, the ones selling tacos and food and stuff. And
Let's go.
so it really is like a Houston kind of community thing popping off. You know?
Yeah, dude, I'm proud of you for this stuff. Like, sincerely, like, this is just so fun, man. I like I don't know. I feel like things are bubbling up in Houston just in general.
For sure.
Like, not to sound, I don't want to sound weird or anything, but like my label's doing pretty well. My
Yeah.
channel's doing even better. I got some really big things about to drop. And I'm Houston all day, bro. I'm not moving out of this state. It ain't happening. So like I'm always gonna represent this place. And so
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Hell yeah.
excited, man. We're due for another big run, man. Remember like an 03, 04, 05, 06? There was Pride Kills, Your Mistake, 10 Crowns, Will to Live. There's all these really great bands out of tech. Bitter End was doing stuff. Iron Age was popping off. Like, just, I mean, Grave Robbers, I Am Wolf. I could keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
And there was all these great shows. We had all these, and like Fallcore was a big deal. And towards the end of it, it was a real big deal. So
Oh,
the fact that
huge.
you're, kind of picking that baton up and taking off with it is really important to me as a Texan Houstonian.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that I know of that are flying in. I know my buddy Neil. I know Neil. I think too. He's
Yeah.
coming in from Pittsburgh. Like, this
Yeah,
is going to
dude.
be a big one, man.
We're gonna have a lot of people from all over the U.S. coming out to Houston, and even some fools from out of the country too to come check it out. So
That's so awesome.
it's dope, man. And we have just around 50 tickets left. So like it's next Saturday. It's gonna sell out. If you haven't grabbed tickets yet, please do so. Because I don't think we're gonna have any at the door day of the way it's sitting. So
Certainly doesn't feel like it. I mean,
yeah,
so what's the? Yeah, I'll talk about that off camera. Like, yeah, that's 50 tickets is not a lot.
yeah,
I've sent a couple of emails out to some people asking if they were coming out, and one of them didn't know it was happening. I think he's like off of the internet, so I'm not too surprised. But I'm trying to get a few more guys to get tickets because I told them the same thing. I said I think this is going to be a pretty big one. It's going to be important. This is going to be one of those ones that in like 10 or 12 years, like we're going to be talking about like, hey man, were you at that? Oh, I was
yeah,
at
yeah,
that, and like it's not that it doesn't matter, I guess, except that like, don't you want to be at these things? Like, don't you
for
want to be
sure.
involved? Like, I don't understand why
To
you would
witness
listen
it.
to this kind of music and not want to be involved with it. I don't understand that. And there's not a lot of people like that, but there are some.
Yeah, 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 no, for sure. And but you and I, like, we're lifers, and we want to be involved as much as we can. So
Right.
it's
Well,
cool.
ticket prices are pretty affordable too. It was like
Yep.
what, like $30 or something like that? Like, that's not a lot of
Yeah,
money for
it's
this.
it's
So
not bad at all. We tried to make it really, we try to make it as affordable as possible, just trying to pay for all these bands coming in. I mean, we only have, technically, Liberty is the only like local band, and even then, like half of our dudes live out of the city now.
right. Yeah. I mean, what I would say about this is I want everybody to come out, hang out, bring your phone, take some photos, come out ready to hang out, eat some food. I don't
Yeah,
drink, but drink some beers, whatever, hang
yeah,
out, just, have a good time. Uh Please pick up a shirt, pick up a album, stickers, patches, pins. You can come by my table if you want. I'm there mostly to pass out business cards. You want to pick up a record, cool. But go buy stuff from the bands.
yeah,
Like, support these dudes that are traveling because without that support, this stuff starts to dissipate and go away. And
100%.
I can't handle that. So, when I'm dead and gone, do what you want. But for the next, I don't know, foreseeable future, hopefully, um, I'm so excited about this because, I'm gonna probably drop this little talk into a video just about Do or Die because I'm gonna do a quick little video just talking about that record
Yeah.
because it's so important to me personally, and then to hear you talk about it was kind of nice because I honestly wasn't sure who else that album was important to outside of the East Coast because I don't know, man. I in the 90s, dude, I didn't talk to people about this stuff. I didn't know. So it's
Yeah.
really cool to see that it's in. I mean, I would have assumed it was pretty important to you, but like I think it touches similar, you know, I don't know, points in your
Dude,
life as it does mine.
but it's also from that era where like Lars Fredrickson was producing all the
Bro,
like he produced that album. He
I think
produced
he did uh what's the other one with the dude on the cross?
yeah, Pressure Point.
Yeah, Pressure Point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But yeah, dude. I mean, like, it's weird. I always seem to find a way to talk about Rancid on this channel, but like, seriously, like, how lucky are we that we were in this particular era? Because if it wasn't like 1977 or 82, 96 is the next best year, man.
Hell
94
yeah.
maybe. So
Yeah.
like, we're really fortunate that that we were around to capture these things. I remember getting all those comps, and there was a bunch of comps, dude. It wasn't just Hellcat stuff. I don't want to be like that guy, but there was also the Punkorama stuff, Hopelessly Devoted to You. There was Oi the album. This is just stuff that I had. Skins and Pins.
Yeah, Skins and Pins was big. Also the Nitro Records comps.
Oh, I didn't know they had comps. I didn't get
Yeah.
those. I love Ensign. That's one
Yeah,
of my
yeah.
favorite bands, bro. I love that band. Old Offspring, obviously. Old AFI is the only AFI, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. How'd you get Slapshot on the very first one of these fests, dude?
Man, it was a lot of like me and Jared busting our ass and trying to find like a good headliner.
Right. That's
it-
awesome.
I had found out through the grapevine that they had actually never played Houston before, and so I was like, "Yo,
Crazy.
we gotta make that happen."
Right.
So that man, and so just to be able to bring that band to Houston for the first time was just like, "Oh, this is dope," you know?
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like these little, I don't know, pricklies in the air right now because oddly enough, I just talked about Slapshot like 30 minutes ago, and I haven't mentioned that band in probably 5 years. So like it's just like, uh-oh, all these little things are crisscrossing, all these little waves are starting to match up, and I'm feeling it, man. This is gonna be a good time, dude. We got that show on Friday that y'all are
Yeah,
playing out in Austin, and then next weekend. I've been looking forward to this for literally like 3 months. Like I've been as soon as you said tickets were available, I was like, cool, bing, bought one for me and the little lady, and I've just been waiting. I've just been waiting, man. This is gonna be so fun. Like, man,
yeah, it's gonna be
I'm
dope, man.
very, very excited. I literally bought this camera now so that I could take it with me to that show. Like, I was just gonna wait till
Oh, that's
January
great.
to buy this camera, but I was like, nah, I can't, dude. I went to LA and I didn't have it. I kind of regret that. So next best thing is this, man. I gotta go out there and take some really, really good photos and take some good video.
Represent.
It's awesome, bro. So I know you gotta get out of here. Real quick before we go. Oi has had like a real recent like pop off again. I say like in the last like 4 to 5 years, 2020 and forward. Um, do you have any thoughts on that? Like why? Like all of a sudden it just like is it the state of the world? Is that what it is? Because that produces a certain kind of music and a certain kind of attitude, or because I'm amazed by it. I'm kind of just kind of
Yeah,
all about it, honestly.
I definitely think political and social climates influence for sure the type of music that you and I are into.
Right.
So I think that has a part to play in it. But also, man, like you've seen it, everything's cyclical. Everything comes around in cycles. So
Yeah.
like like right now, there's a big local like Houston hardcore scene, and it's a lot of young kids. You know, very few of them, if at all, any of them know who like Pride Kills or
That shit
even
is so crazy to me.
Die Young
Like,
is. But
oh, shout out Die Young. I totally forgot to say them earlier, dude. Shout out Die Young.
but also they're really into beatdown. So like beatdown's big right now. And I don't know if
Also
you
weird.
remember it's super weird because I remember like you and I used to kind of clown on that stuff because like at its peak it was some of the like I don't know. It was like a cartoon of hardcore. It was like everybody gets hurt, go fuck yourself. All these like
Right, dude. No, I mean, like, yeah, 25 to life, like,
yeah, yeah. So just going back to everything being cyclical. So like it was just time, politically, socially, and just in our respective subcultures for like Oi to have a renaissance. Um, I think Violent Way had a big part to play in it. CMI, they came in and people immediately clung to that, and they kind of brought a lot of new. I know they brought a lot of new faces and listeners to my band, and I think to the genre in general. The Chisel too, man. The Chisel popping off was like another big one. Chubby and the Gang,
God, I love that
dude.
band.
That the Hounds actually. I think I could trace it back to like the Royal Hounds or New York Hounds getting big. But whatever it is, I hope it doesn't like fizzle out. I hope it kind of stays around for some
Right.
time.
Well,
It's cool.
dude, it's weird because street punk's also like, and I mean, like, spiky haired mohawk street punk is like kind of back too, man. We got like
Hell yeah.
Rotten Stitches, Still Pissed, Dogface Bastards, The Havoc did a new album like a year and a half ago. Like it's kind of wild, bro. Like
Sick.
all I guess that's what it is, dude. It's like I guess that's what's happening is that cycle has made its way back around to us
Yeah.
because it's been like 20 years and maybe more than that, even closer to 30, I guess. And we're having like this new renaissance of all this stuff that we love. And I guess our kids it's weird, man. It's just
Yeah.
so strange. It's strange to be this age, man, and look at it and be like, oh, okay. Like I can't imagine being somebody like in Cox Bar or even in Rancid and being able to look back at one more generation and be like, oh yeah, it's happening again. Like this is
Yeah.
crazy. Like,
Yeah. I
but
mean, shit, Cox Bar, they've been around 50 years, you
dude,
know?
how fucking nuts is that, bro? And their last album was like really solid. Like, was it
Yeah,
like best of the world? No, but it's gonna be talked about in my top 10 records of the year. Like,
for
it's
sure.
really
It's,
good.
yeah, solid shit.
That's probably like top 2 or 3 Oi band for me. I love that band. It's another one of those ones where I didn't realize it was different. I just liked it, and I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is really good." Oh, what's Oi? I was like, "What the fuck?" I thought it was just something people said. Like I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So awesome, man. Well, I'll let you get back to work, brother. Thanks for hanging out and talking for a few minutes, bro. Thanks for putting on this fest. Thanks for being around and putting up with all these fucking young people, man. Like, just it's awesome to see that after all these years that we've gone through all this stuff and we're still kind of having a good time doing it. Because I'll tell you what, man, if it becomes a job and you start hating it, just go. Like seriously, like myself included. Like if it's becomes something I can't stand doing, I'm just gonna dip out, bro.
For
So
sure. Man, I'll see you on Friday. Love you, bro.
yes, sir. All right, love you too, brother. Peace.
Later.